You talk about influencers. These are influencers, and they're friends of mine. Jack Posobiec. Where's Jack? Jack, who's done a great job.
All right, Jack Posobiec, we are back. Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice. Folks, you know something? I've been telling you, pay attention to what is happening with the dollar, with the debt, with central banks, and honestly, with crypto, because you see all this stuff piling up. And when things get rocky, and we can see what's happening with the crypto crash right now, this massive sell-off that's happening under 100, I think it was down at like 85 at one point today. Look, gold has always been the safe haven, but now gold isn't just defensive, it's an offensive asset. It's already over $4,000 an ounce, and the analysts are forecasting it could go over $5,000. And silver just hit another all-time high. And that's why I've been working with my partners at Allegiance Gold for the past 3 years. They help you protect your savings and your retirement with real physical gold and silver, not paper promises. And right now, Allegiance Gold is making it even better. They'll donate 1% of qualified investments from my audience to Turning Point USA. Or if you want another great America First organization. That's in addition to the 1% you will already qualify for. So you can protect your wealth, support the movement at the same exact time. What better gift, by the way, to give this Christmas than the gift of gold? If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Don't overthink it. Don't wait until it's too late. See what's going on with gold today. Give them a call, 844-577-7676, or visit protectwithposo.com. That's 844-577-7676, or protectwithposo.com. Protect your future and stand with me fighting for America. All right, Jack Posobiec, we're on with Auren McIntyre. We're talking about these questions. And Auren, so you saw Wajad Ali, and he's saying, white people, you have lost. We Browns are here. We are outbreeding you. It's done. But then President Trump comes in and says, you know what? Reverse migration. Something I thought was really interesting, though. All of the liberal commentariat has said, oh, so President Trump just wants ethnic cleansing. So he just wants ethnic cleansing. And my question, I guess, is if reverse migration is ethnic cleansing, then what was the migration program all along?
Yes, thank you. Yes, Mark Kelly also stepped on this rake recently saying, well, you know, I think by saying that we don't want the third world in the United States, the Trump administration is just saying that we want the United States to be whiter. Okay, well, Mark, if we flip that over, what does that mean? Well, it means the opposite. Of course, if you're opening the gates to third world immigration, you are specifically and intentionally encouraging immigration from nations that are not ethnically homogenous with America for this express purpose of reducing the current ethnic makeup of the United States. You are trying to dilute it and break it down. This is not a mistake, especially after the Hart-Celler Act of 1965. We basically threw away the idea that Americans had the right to decide who immigrated into the United States. Instead of Americans selecting populations depending on whether they would be compatible, they shared religion, they shared values, they were productive inside society, they assimilated well. Instead, we had to open the doors to anyone and everyone who wanted to be an American. We couldn't put caps on certain nations, we couldn't favor certain nations, and this has destroyed, of course, the ethnic makeup of the United States. When you look at a concert in California in the 1970s, or even if you look at a high school in the 1990s, it looks radically different than it does today. And the American people were never asked. So what we have here is very clearly an attempt to ethnically cleanse the United States through immigration. Sadly, American elites are not different than many other Western elites in this attempt. And for the reasons we already spoke about, this allows them to gain more power.
It certainly does. In fact, we have a clip. Guys, let's play this clip because someone also made a very interesting point regarding that as well. Play SOT 2.
Mr. President, you said that you might denaturalize some American citizens. Can you talk about...
You mean people that are in here that shouldn't be here?
That became Americans. Are you trying
Well, we'll
to
see.
promote
I mean,
their
yeah, if we have criminals that came into our country and they were naturalized maybe through a Biden or somebody that didn't know what they were doing. If I have the power to do it, I'm not sure that I do, but if I do, I would denaturalize absolutely.
Well, and there you go. So President Trump also pointing out, by the way, that there isn't a there isn't some rule that says that people can't be denaturalized. If you committed fraud, if you committed crime in the naturalization process, you could be denaturalized. They all have to sign documents saying this, by the way. It's so amazing that you're seeing this like theocratic response from the liberals, the globalists, the media, as it really is this religion of the United States, this new civic religion that anyone in the world can just become American if you have a piece of paper. Why do you think it's just that they're taught this, or do they really believe it?
I think that sadly, several generations of Americans have been educated in the idea that America is simply an idea. It's a propositional nation. It's an abstraction. And what makes you an American is whether or not you adhere to those principles, that abstract idea. The problem is, in practice, that doesn't work. Because look at someone like Ilhan Omar, or any part of the squad. These people do not like America. They hate America. And yet they are allowed to continue to stay in the United States because one of the propositions we all have to agree to as Americans is that you have the First Amendment and you're allowed to speak your mind, even if you hate the country and disagree with it. Well, if that's the case, then we can't possibly have a propositional nation, because the minute you stop agreeing with the proposition, you should be deported. You should be denaturalized. But that's not what we do. Instead, we bring foreigners in, we allow them to lie under oath for their citizenship, and immediately then turn around and start trashing the country. You know this, that I used to teach high school civics. That's what I used to do before I became a political pundit. And one of the things I taught was that you can denaturalize people, that there's a provision for this process. And one of the allowable reasons to denaturalize someone is if they lied on their immigration paperwork. Did they lie about loving the country? Did they lie about sharing its values? Did they lie when they came over to the United States? Well, then you can denaturalize them. This is entirely inside the power of the federal government.
Actually, it's one thing really funny, and we're almost at the break, but so this liberal account, Project Liberal, always tries to like troll me and stuff. And they came up and said, John Adams would tell you to kick rocks. And I said, oh, really? Would you like me to tell you John Adams' position on subversive foreigners? The guy who actually wrote, passed, and signed the Alien and Sedition Acts? John Adams thought that the French were too subversive, and to be fair, I mean, we probably shouldn't trust them that far. Just go look what they did just go look what they did in the Square of Paris at the time. So, I mean, John Adams was not some like wishy-washy liberal. They try to paint this false narrative of our founding fathers. This is completely not true. And again, folks, if you know the facts, the actual facts about our founders and our founding, it will give you much greater respect for them and respect for your country. We'll be right back. Human Events Daily.